day, Internet people! Today we're going to do something just a bit different. We're going to go back in time with your flux capacitors, your TARDISes, and I need a third time travelling device.
Time machine.
A wormhole from Star Trek.
I've invented a machine that can move time. I shall call it a time machine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're going to look at a very, 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 very old MLB deck from...
2013?
Just what?
12?
When did that set come out?
A long time
I think it was
ago.
2013.
When we started, wasn't it?
It's a deck profile, Jim, but not as we know it.
Yeah.
It's an archival deck profile from probably when long before many of you played Vanguard.
Let us know in the comments how old you were in 2013 and what you were doing with your life.
Because Jess wants to feel old.
Yeah, I was in exactly the same situation as now. I was 31. No, 30. I was young.
We'll just leave that there. Now, this was before Strides, Legions, Gifts. What else is this?
Vanguard.
Team League.
Trump.
If you were to go by Japanese release dates, then it would also be before even the thing called Limit Break. But over here, that's not true.
It was before DTT was active on Twitter properly. That only happened quite recently.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
So the starter for this deck is a card that many of you may have actually even seen before. It is Winkle Brave.
Oh.
One of the first cards to have the Forerunner ability before it was called Forerunner. Put this unit into your soul. When an attack hits during the battle, that this unit boosted a unit with Blaster in its card name. Back then there wasn't that many. You may pay the cost. If you do, set your deck for up to one card with Blaster in its card name, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck.
As you will see, there aren't that many blasters.
That's free.
There wasn't that many blasters.
It's free at this point. One of the options you would have is this guy. Majesty Lord Blaster.
A card that still has a bit of value today.
Yeah. If you have a card named Blaster Dark and a card named Blaster Blade in your soul, this unit gains +2 and a crit. Choose a unit named Blaster Blade and a unit named Blaster Dark from your row guard, put them into your soul. When this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gains 10,000 power until the end of that battle.
Goodbye.
You are the weakest link. Doesn't seem like a lot now, does it?
It was really good back then.
But yeah, back then, before your gifts and your shenanigans.
Angle Dual Knight.
Because this deck profile is going to be a trip to the past, I've included 3 copies of King of Knights Alfred, the original from BTO1. How old this unit is? Your units cannot boost this unit. This is how old this unit used to be. During your turn, this unit gains 2,000 power for each of your Royal Paladin rearguards.
Busted. OP.
And counterblast free, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or less Royal Paladin and call it to rearguard and shove your deck.
Totally OP Desune.
How much does Sword Me cost to do nearly basically the exact same thing?
It was Counterblast 1 Dual Knight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had to be a Dual Knight.
And find a Dual Knight.
And find a Dual Knight. Well, grade 1 Dual Knight.
Yeah. But still.
But still,
Busted. OP.
it's alright. That's what? More, I was going to say 9 sets, but it's more than 9 sets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Taking another trip down to memory lane, back to BTO2, we have 2 copies of Soul Saber Dragon, the original. When this unit attacks, and if it attacks a Vanguard, this unit gains 3,000 power until the end of that battle. Soul Blast 5, when this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 3 of your rear guards or paladins, and those units gain +5k.
That's cute, isn't it?
This was the card that Barkle got banned for.
And someone didn't let it go for years.
I actually did it once.
Bushiroad didn't let it go for years.
Barkle was apparently too broken to make this skill happen, once.
But Gize's allowed. It's fine.
Yeah, Gize's allowed. It's a change of priorities.
Oh, yeah.
Times change. And so must I.
No.
Oh, yeah?
That's not me.
Bam, we're going back to Trial Deck 1.
Oh.
Blaster Blade, the original.
ABB.
Counterblast 2, when this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose an opponent's rearguard and retire it.
Oh my god, I got a Dual Knight.
Counterblast 2, when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a Royal Paladin Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose an opponent's grade 2 or greater rearguard and retire it. It's Blaster Blade. It works with a deck.
Baby. Turn it into a premium version. Just make it the exact same, but swap the blaster blades out for the new one.
Now, I'm pretty sure this remains the only deck where you're allowed to include 2 different clans. I'm pretty sure the rules still remain the same.
Does premium not allowed MLB in one?
I think MLB is still allowed. 4 copies of Blaster Dark. One of the hardest single R's that you have to get hold of in that deck.
And still, it's still an astonishingly expensive SP.
If you have a card named Blaster Javelin in your soul, this unit gains plus 1000.
Which was never a thing in this deck.
Yeah, some people actually did try to experiment with it once using the Furabow and that route, but that never seemed to take off.
No.
The counter plus 2 when this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost if you do choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it.
Yeah, right hold.
The last grade 2 of this deck is Knight of Loyalty, Bedivere.
There's a Detective Pikachu filter on Snapchat. It's got the ears and the hat.
When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, this unit gains plus 3 until the end of that battle. This became a mainstay during the subtype era.
Who did what now?
When if there's a certain card. Jess, you know we're filming here, right?
What's that number?
If you have a Vanguard with this in its card name, gain plus 3.
Oh, that. Yeah.
This was one of the first.
Yes. It's one of the first to do like the specific attack.
The 4 perfect cards of this deck is the original Flash Shield Isolt. Fresh with the BTO1 double R foil. These used to be 15 quid each at one point. Oi, Chihuahua. It's a perf. Back in there, do you remember the original misprint?
Misprint?
There used to be a misprint.
Oh.
This was like, choose one of your units, it can't be hit until like the end of the turn or something.
Oh. No, I don't remember that.
That was cool.
Till the end. I'm pretty sure there was a misprint somewhere. I remember having like the 4 Barrys, the Kagero Pepperguard, and they were the misprints.
Ah. Hang on, how come you ended up with all the Kagero Perfect Guards and the Jess didn't?
I had a Kagero deck first. I had 4 copies late made in the end. Very simple. Rest it and draw, drop and draw. It's quite
yeah.
card one of the original card filterings. You've seen Soul Saver. Just because I like these cards, I have 4 Pongles in here. The original Pongles. Counter plus 1, put this unit into your soul. If you have Royal Paladin Vanguard, you can search your deck for 1 card named Soul Saver Dragon, reveal it to your opponent, and put it in your hand. You can find Soul Saver really easy. 2 copies of the original Marin from the trial deck, and BTO 1, you could got it as well. Come on. Triggers of the deck. This deck runs 4 of the Margles because it went into the soul. It runs these crits because the original crits that were in the deck, they were the Epina and I had Lou, but they're in other decks at the minute. So these are just placeholders. Because this deck never gets used ever. It's just a museum piece.
Although, comment down below if you want to see it on camera being used.
And watch it get annihilated. 2 copies of the original Flogel. Because surprise stands are funny.
You have to go with the flow.
And 4 copies of the original
With the Flogel.
Yggdrasil Maiden Elaine. Which even today has stunning artwork.
She looks cool.
That's it, Internet people. We hope you've enjoyed this trek down memory lane for us and realise how old we are sometimes. Comment down below if you actually remember playing against this deck or using this deck.
But how does it work though? Like how, like what's the actual plays that you do with it?
You get Blaster Dart, you get Blaster Blade on you, and then you swing.
Do you have like ways to get them out?
You get them into the soul and smack face with permanent.
Does it have like superior calling to get them out? Or
No.
do you just have to kind of bank on them?
You have to bank on them in your hand.
Good luck with that. Oh yeah, this was a different era for Vanguard, wasn't it?
This is a completely different era. We hope that you've seen these cards, realize how different the early meta used to be. It was MLB at the end, wasn't it, for a long time?
Yeah.
Alfred was still good though.
Yeah, we can't be boosted.
No, but the 20k swing is always good. At least at the time. Although when your opponent's on like 11 or 12k base, I suppose.
If you are interested in seeing this deck being used against a modern deck and watching it get annihilated, please feel free. Comment down below. And if you want to see any more retro deck videos, we can see what we can scavenge and what people have got stored away in a box somewhere.
There are things stored away.
I do my dual nights, but the deck profile that we filmed last is still the current one. Just search it out. You'll find it.
I hope you enjoy. Good night, the best people. Bye.
Bye.
Kamui here. Thanks for watching Draw the Trigger. Here's another video you might enjoy.